An orange sunset bathes a city in Korea, casting a warm glow over the evening. A sign on a building advertises a shelter with the slogan, "Let's survive." The store window is shattered, and the infrastructure is in ruins. It's evident that the city is in turmoil. Something catastrophic has occurred. The protagonist heads to the store, or what's left of it, to gather supplies. From the speakers, a recorded announcement declares that the store is limiting the sale of water and groceries to one per person. Panic-stricken people scramble to grab whatever they can, but the last shelf with a meager supply of food collapses under the pressure. The scarcity has led to people fighting over a pack of chips and a can of soda, disregarding the norms of civilized society. Survival instincts override all other considerations in this desperate crowd. In the midst of the chaos, Cheolsu manages to squeeze in. He manages to gather enough supplies to last for 2 days at most. Sitting down by a shelving unit, Cheolsu sighs heavily. As he surveys the scene, he witnesses a terrifying display of how people can devolve in an apocalyptic scenario. People are fighting over a bag of food, overwhelmed by panic, fear, and despair, illustrating how helpless they can be, even as the Earth continues to turn. It took just 3 months for humanity to unravel. The signs of the apocalypse began with the news. A massive meteorite named Rama was heading straight for Earth. 3 months ago, life was normal. Cheolsu was at work late into the evening as usual, even after his co-workers had left. A colleague asked if he was going home, to which he replied that he would stay late, allowing her to leave first. His colleagues were accustomed to his workaholic tendencies. Cheolsu, a middle-aged divorced man, often stayed late, possibly to avoid returning to an empty home. There were rumors in the office that he simply preferred solitude. At that time, Rama was just another space rock. Only the scientific community paid attention to it. The asteroid was largely ignored by the general public. However, the news grew increasingly alarming each day. During a lunch break with his co-workers, Cheolsu heard a radio announcement stating that Rama, which was initially expected to bypass Earth, was gradually altering its course towards the planet after entering the solar system. Global concern escalated. The ICDS proposed altering the asteroid's trajectory using nuclear missiles, but this might not suffice. A radio host announced that an expert, Taeku Kim, a thermonuclear engineer, would be on the air to discuss the situation. Taeku explained that Rama had changed its course. Now, the enormous rock, over 160 kilometers in diameter, was hurtling towards Earth at a speed of 17.1 kilometers per second. This meant it would cover the 380,000 kilometers distance between the Moon and Earth in just 6 hours. An asteroid of this size and velocity would utterly devastate the planet. No bunker could offer protection. There was no saving Earth now, and even if there were, it was too late. While the government attempted to placate the public with false hope, the end of the world loomed ever closer. Despite the expert's convincing words, he was just another voice on television. People were skeptical, but Taeku's statements still sparked a sense of urgency. Cheolsu and his colleagues discussed the news. One woman was skeptical, while another man believed it and was preparing to face the end with his family. When asked if he was concerned about his parents, Cheolsu responded that they had passed away long ago, and he had no one left to worry about. Amidst all the speculation, fears, and optimism, Rama continued its relentless approach, disrupting daily life. The head of the ICDS held a press conference to address the urgent situation. The plan to use nuclear missiles to alter the asteroid's course had been approved, and thousands of warheads would soon be launched into space. Despite facing humanity's greatest crisis, governments worldwide had not given up hope. Cheolsu drove along an empty road, listening to an elderly man's speech on the radio. Time ticked away in this chaotic situation as the struggle for survival began. Being kind-hearted, Cheolsu shared some instant noodles with an elderly woman and her granddaughter from the store. However, no sooner had he turned away than a frightened crowd, like a pack of wild dogs, charged towards him. Cheolsu was trampled, and his supplies scattered, bloodied and trampled underfoot. He looked towards the elderly woman and child, hoping for help, but saw that, in desperate times, people only look out for themselves. The woman quickly gathered the fallen food and ran off with her granddaughter. Cheolsu could only watch them go. This was the reality. A world on the brink of apocalypse. A can of beer rolling to his foot snapped Cheolsu back to reality. He picked up the beer, ensuring it was undamaged. He left payment at the counter and walked towards the exit. Outside, a crowd had gathered, and bright lights were blinding everyone. It was a nuclear barrage of thousands of warheads aimed at the asteroid, humanity's last hope. The entire nuclear arsenal of every country in the world was launched into the sky. It was a terrifying sight, embodying the hopes of billions of people. Everyone wanted to believe that humanity still had a chance and that this barrage could save them. Hope is the last to die, but the current situation left no room for doubt. The dazzling display and nuclear ash masked the final moments of humanity. In the end, humanity failed to change the asteroid's course, and the apocalypse was inevitable. Cheolsu, realizing that these were his last moments, decided to sit quietly on the couch, reminiscing about the past as he looked through old family photos. There, he was celebrating the end of high school with his mom. There, he was with his parents at his university graduation. All the happy memories of Cheolsu's life came flooding back. Looking out the window, he saw that the asteroid was about to strike Earth. Putting the album aside, Cheolsu picked up a can of beer. Walking calmly to the balcony, he opened the can and raised it in a toast. Rama had arrived. Cheolsu faced the cosmic body and realized that the apocalypse had begun. Cheolsu exclaimed, "Cheers!" and bravely faced the impending doom. Death came instantly. Suddenly, Cheolsu woke up in a cold sweat. He found himself surrounded by a school backpack, old school uniform, notebooks, and textbooks. A thought immediately flashed through his mind. What happened? The world had definitely ended. Yes, this was Kong Cheolsu, an ordinary office worker who had died when the asteroid Rama crashed into Earth, now mysteriously returned to his 13-year-old self.